경기인 경기장 도시형.
All right, so here we are, guys, down at the 6 o'clock position on Terminus. We have our red Zerg player hailing from Team SCV Life. Yes, that does make sense. Hailing from Team SCV Life, he is Shine.
But it's actually the SCV Life.
Yes.
Or is it Team SCV Life? It is Team SCV Life. Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Over at the 12 o'clock position, we have our blue Zerg player from Team Liquid. He is Zenio. So cross position, ZVZ, fun times ahead for us here on Terminus.
Yep, and it's always a bit of a question what you're going to do in ZVZ in a big map like this. You know, I mean, if you get lucky, you can do something like 10 pool, find your opponent right away. A lot of Zergs, so would prefer to go hatchery first on this, but you never really know. Green ZVZ is a matchup that fluctuates, I would say, even more than TVT, just in terms of what opening is popular, you know, that day. Little extractor trick there from Shine.
Yes, indeed. It looks like, I believe it was a 9 Overlord, actually, for Zenio, so a little bit of difference between the two players to start things off, but nothing too out of the ordinary quite yet. I'm really curious to see what players do to follow this up, though, as we have seen some weirder things in ZVZ lately.
Well, if you don't see either of them take a gas, it's probably going to be hatch first. If they both go up to 15, which they are, yeah, probably going to be a hatchery first. Sometimes you see Zerg players go 15 gas, 14 pool, but generally it is hatch first if you get up to the 15 supply range. And yep, look at that, both players going off to get their hatcheries.
Yes, indeed. Actually, so both popping down at about the same time. Actually, exactly the same time.
Pretty much, yeah.
And, you know, I am hoping for one of those rare late-game ZVZs, though. I think they're fun, especially, I think ZVZ is its most fun when you have players going down. One player goes down the Mutalisk route, one player goes down the Roach and Infestor routes. I think that those can end up being very entertaining. Looks like Zenio is putting up his gas a little bit later than his opponent, but pools are going to hit it about the same time for both players, 16 pool.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, you mentioned Mutalisks, and they are certainly popular right now in ZVZ, but they also are definitely the more riskier way to go. Of course, if you can surprise your opponent with Mutalisks, you basically win the game, but there's such a risk of being fungled, and then you just lose a huge investment of income, and if that happens, then suddenly you're way behind. So despite the Mutalisks being really popular right now, I feel like it's going to be something that kind of fades away and goes back to where it was sort of you know, like surprise type of build, where it's something you try to fake your opponent out with and then suddenly show up with like a dozen mutas.
Mutalisks are really cool. Oh, team manager for Liquid is out.
Take the rest of the Transformers with you.
He is disgusted with what he's seen from Zenio so far. But yeah, Mutalisks are incredibly fragile. And let's see here now what both players will follow up with, as Shine not pulling off of gas. Well, he pulled one off of gas, but he's still mining with 2 drones right now. Of course, his Zergling speed is on the way at basically the same time that Zenio's is.
Yep, that is interesting to note. Zenio does pull his drones off of gas. So yeah, with that gas income that Shine is taking in, he could easily put down a Baneling nest just that much sooner, or, you know, he could just decide to go for a Roach Warren and be saving up for those roaches as well. But there's a Baneling nest. Baneling nest is a much more common route to go. In ZVZ, it's generally the safer way to go, but, you know, we do see Zergs like Nest T and even Leenock every once in a while do things like hatch first into roaches and then just try to have really good control to defend the Banelings from their opponent.
Yeah, Nest T in particular just seems to have the...
He was known for it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the perfect moment all the time as well. He knows exactly when is the perfect opportunity to go that riskier Roach first route after that expand, so always fun to watch his decision-making.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is Zenio's still not getting gas right now, so if he does decide to go for a Baneling nest, he's going to have it much later than his opponent. So we might actually see Shine try to put a little bit of aggression on his opponent once he sees that Zenio is just kind of droning up really hard right now.
Yeah, and Zenio actually producing 18 leads right now, so he's actually moving into quite a bit of aggression here in just a second. Now droning up behind that as well, so he wants to put on some pressure, but he may run smack dab into a bunch of Banelings.
Yep, Shine at least should be very prepared for this. He is making some Zerglings, and or I mean some Banelings, and as long as he continues to produce a few Zerglings behind it, should be perfectly fine.
All right, now, so Spine Crawler up at the front, so that train of Zerglings making their way out for Zenio. He's going to start bolting his way in, but Banelings are done, and it looks like he just says, no, I don't want any piece of that right now.
Yeah, that's not going to work at all. Zenio basically just trying to catch his opponent droning up, thought, hey, maybe if he's going for the Roach Warren, I can just get in there, do some damage to speedlings, which is possible. It does happen sometimes. Oh, but now he's going to be on the defensive. Oh, I think he's just trying to cut off reinforcements, possibly.
Oh, he is going to pretty successfully do that, or at least do some damage to them. He does have a couple of spine crawlers up the front, but he has bypassed Banelings altogether and gone right to those roach horns that we were talking about before. Those Zerglings are certainly going to need to come back, so we have a few units in the middle of the map. The Banelings! Ooh. Only taking out 2 Zerglings there, so not too bad for Zenio at first.
Yep. Shine doing a good job as well protecting those Banelings, but can't really protect them against spine crawlers. Oh, maybe you can. Wow, both Banelings getting past the spine crawlers.
That was pretty impressive.
And Zenio sacrificing a couple lings here. And whoa, nice hit by Shine.
Yeah, that's really good. That's going to allow him to kill a bunch of drones, and he does manage to sneak away with about 3 or 4 drone kills. Yeah, this is actually turning into be a really bad situation for Zenio right now. His supply is rapidly dwindling. He has a lot of lost drones. He's pulled them off of mining for even longer. He's lost 8 drones altogether at a 16 drone disadvantage.
I have a suspicion that some of those Zerglings were on move command too from Shine. They were just trying to get up the ramp and just couldn't do it. And the Queens didn't really seem to take any damage at all from that. So Shine maybe mismicroing a little bit there. Yeah, this isn't enough lings to really do any sort of really significant damage. It looks like he might kill the Queen.
Wow, yeah, Zenio doesn't have any way to react to this. He just invested in a bunch of roaches and didn't have any excess larvae sitting around, so.
Yep.
All right, well, no more, looks like maybe you got 1 more drone there. Let's actually take a look. Yeah, 9 workers killed now, but pretty significant advantage for Shine. He's going ahead and throwing down his own Roach Warren with +1 weapon. Xenios is going to be ahead of his, of course, but Shine certainly in a pretty good spot.
Yep, that's right. And what's the drone count right now for each player? It looks like 33 to 48. Yeah, so Shine did actually kill a good amount of drones here too. So even though Zenio is going to have +1, he's not really going to be able to utilize it until at least, Shine gets +1 as well. So yeah, Shine in a pretty good spot right now. Neither player having a really significant advantage, although Shine, I would say, is maybe a little bit ahead at this point.
Yeah, especially with these 10 roaches he's putting out now, it's going to give him a significant advantage in overall roach count. He's much farther ahead on his layer tech as well, so should have that all-important roach speed finishing up here in a bit. And he's already starting to knock down those destructible debris. It's like that's the same thing Zenio's doing as well. He's a little bit farther along, but of course Shine is going to have just more roaches to do that with in a second.
Yep, exactly. And, no reason for Zenio to move across the map with what he's got right now, so might as well make him useful. As we'll take that 3rd, and a Hydra Den coming down for Shine as well. Yeah. This is something that it seems like the TSL Zergs especially really like to do, is they like to go for Roach Hydra a lot of times, and not go for quite as fast of an infestation pit as a lot of the other Korean Zergs do in ZVZ.
Yeah.
So yeah, Shine definitely playing the TSL Zerg style, I would say.
All right, so we'll see if that's going to end up working out for him. His opponent, Zenio, is already going over to +2 weapons. Also has his hatchery on the way, but Shine's is not that far behind his. Now, something kind of interesting to note, I'm not sure where they're actually playing this match specifically from, because Zenio's been doing a lot of travel lately. As we can see, TSL is using a generic account, foreign account, so not sure what server this is actually being played on.
I'm sure it's on Korea, but I think I can explain that. I believe TSL has a bunch of different accounts named, 1 through whatever, so that the players can ladder without their strategies being given away, too.
Okay.
A lot of the Korean teams are very, very secretive about their players' builds and things like that. So if someone gets a hold of practice replays and things like that, they could see the build, but they don't know which player is really doing it,
Okay.
So I think it's just kind of an effort to keep the strategies of TSL more secret.
Well, Shine is now up by 13 supply. He's got 12 roaches to his opponent's 11. He also has 10 Hydralisks and 4 Banelings in addition to that number. So
it's going to be a pretty strong attack here.
Yeah, Zenio has been able to drone up past Shine, but Shine, of course, has been making attack units this entire time. Now taking a look, Pathogen Glance coming up for Zenio, but it's going to be a while before he'll have... And that's a pretty good defensive position.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that it takes so long to get across the map in this situation. Shine is not going to be able to break Zenio right here, I don't think. It's nice that he's killing a couple Overlords, causing Zenio to spend some extra minerals that he wouldn't want to, but I think that Shine's going to see this and then turn around pretty quick.
Well, he does have the Overseer there, and looks like he's going to power ahead and just go for it. One of the Spine Crawlers goes down. Banelings are softening up a couple of units. The Hydralist sitting in the back right now, and thankfully for him, he did decide to attack before +2 weapons actually finished up for Zenio as well. But now the Fragile Hydralists are starting to take some damage. However, Zenio looks like he has to fall back now to the Spine Crawler.
Yep, some reinforcements there. The Hydra's just barely able to push back Zenio. And And Shine, suddenly, if he can get the reinforcements he needs, he might be able to end the game right here.
Killing those Overlords is actually really, really helpful for him as well.
Yeah.
He's starting to pick apart Roaches one at a time. Shine just continuing to reinforce very, very well. He has vision up the top of the ramp as well. Zenio finally has enough that he's starting to slowly battle back. He's pulling drones off of the line as well, but that's never a good sign.
Yep, that's right. More reinforcements from Shine as well, taking out some more drones. Zenio desperately trying to produce enough links to survive, or enough units to survive, rather. He's got 13 more Roaches on the way. If he can buy time until those get out, he might be able to push his opponent back, maybe.
And now a 34 supply advantage and increasing. +2 weapons is not finished for Shine, though, and it is finished for Zenio, and he has a pretty good concave. But the reinforcements for Shine are just hitting so fast.
Well, here's where that +2 weapons, like you said, is going to really start to kick in. Zenio definitely going to be able to hold Shine off at this point.
All right, so Shine actually falling back ever so slightly. Of course, those units are very, very slow. The Hydralisk specifically I'm referring to. So the Roaches are going to move back. They're going to gather up, but of course, +2 weapons is finishing up for Shine.
Yep,
And
Shine kind of made a bit of an educated guess, I guess, if you will. He's like, all right, I think if I move out now, my DPS should be enough to handle things. But Zenio saying, no way.
Zenio saying no way, but now he's being pushed back once again.
Yep.
Shine is dealing out some pretty significant damage there, and it's just been, well, now finally 6 drones coming up, but before that it had been nothing but attack units over and over again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pathogen Glance is actually done now for Zenio, if I remember right, unless he canceled it, and he did not.
Should be, yeah.
But unfortunately, just not a lot of gas sitting around to dump that in Infestors.
Yeah, Burrow on the way, though, for Zenio, too. So getting his upgrades again to make his units just last that much longer. Infestation Pit on the way, too, for Shine. So Zenio might have a little bit of time here to kind of try to catch up, and he's not that far behind yet. So the game is not over yet by any stretch of the imagination. Zenio's still looking okay.
Yeah, certainly looking okay, but that's kind of funny. Didn't use any of the other units to try and kill that Changeling. The Changeling gets a pretty good shot of what exactly Zenio has. Shine falling back at the moment as he continues to reinforce with more units. Rally point's a little bit off at the moment, but that's certainly
careful
fixable.
about stepping on that big like circle thing in the middle of the map there. That looks dangerous, man. You never know when that thing's gonna like shoot a giant laser.
No kidding.
Or transport you to like the Tron universe or something.
And/or tractor beam a giant spaceship and crush you. But
You gotta be careful with that.
no kidding. All right, well, Zenio, he's falling back once again. Doesn't have enough at the moment. He is on 33 Roaches to his opponent's 41, but importantly, he does have 2 Infestors in the mix now.
Yep. That will help a little bit. The fungal growths will do a nice job of softening those other units up here, but it's kind of a standoff right now. In fact, Zenio caught up completely on supply now with Shine. Shine, though, expanding again, so he will still kind of keep that economic lead.
Yes.
And, wow, this is a tense game, man. I mean, it really could go either way.
He does have his own 6 Infestors popping up as well.
Yes.
It looks like 5 are already out for Zenio, so that's going to neutralize each other pretty quick. +1 Carapace is going to finish about a wash. It's about the same time for both players here, and both players are actually about to be max. So
wow, is he actually just going to give up that base? It looks like he is. Yeah, just canceling that.
yeah, and so that poor Spine Crawler gets off 1 hit and then dies. And Shine falling back. He is max. Zenio now the one trying to expand.
Yep. It's kind of how ZVZ goes. It's kind of a tug of war in reverse. You just try to push your opponent back and expand behind it. They push you back, and you push them back.
Oh, the first volley of fungal growth hitting there, and Zenio has a few units pinned in. He has a few Infestors of his own, though. Launches 1 fungal growth, but only catches a couple of units, really. But now Zenio does have a pretty good concave set up here if he takes advantage of it, and it looks like he was a little slow to react, so Shine was able to get in there with quite a few units. Zenio once again being driven back, now a 40 supply advantage for Shine.
Yeah, really, really nicely played by Shine. I mean, if you were watching there, he was pulling back his Roaches just before the fungals hit. He would run up and bait the fungal from Zenio and only get maybe 3 or 4 Roaches caught in it, and that's caused his army to overwhelmingly crush Zenio. And I've got a feeling we might see Zenio taken out here pretty soon. He's certainly going to need to cancel that hatchery. Oh, he doesn't, though.
No.
There are a lot of reinforcements coming in from Zenio.
Let's see if enough fungals can land, though, from Shine. He throws down a couple of infested Terrans as well. Doesn't have any Hydralisks with this, just pure Roach Infestor, and now those infested Terrans as well, but he does kill the base. That's 300 resources lost for Zenio.
Yep, Shine's got to be a little bit careful not to over-pursue here. Burrow is finished. He can just jump those units underground, let them regen a little bit of health, and move them back.
Let's see here now as Shine He's unfortunately going to lose the Infested Terrans before they get off another shot.
Yeah.
But here he comes once again, going to attack, and he does have the superior positioning. And Concave right now locks down a few units with a great fungal growth, and those, the vast majority of them at least, dying before they move away.
Yeah, Shine really starting to pull ahead now. 50 supply ahead of Liquid.Zenio, and the upgrades, I believe, are still even. 2 missile, 1 carapace.
Yes.
For both players here.
Yes, they are. Selected a drone somehow randomly in the middle of that huge group of roaches. But here we go once again. Fungal Growth hitting more units from Shine, but he just has an overwhelming number of roaches. 43 to 23, continuing to push Zenio back at the moment.
Yep, that's right. And the Fungals have just been so good. You know, TSL.Shine really, really impressed me this game with just the way he kind of positioned his units. His micro in the middle of fights in Roach versus Roach this game are a big part of what led him to get this win here. As I am kind of assuming he will take the game here pretty soon.
Yeah, he's up by 70 supply now. That lead is increasing, and ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't look like Liquid is going to walk away with an all-kill this week. TSL certainly going to take this game and start evening things up here in this best of 9.
Yep, that's right. Looks like there's so many roaches, and yep, more reinforcements. GG from Liquid.Zenio.
Yep.
And TSL.Shine ties things up 1-1. We've got ourselves a match.